I want to talk about the Kansas City shooting very briefly. It was horrific. It should have never happened. Hundreds of thousands of people were there celebrating the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory. And near the end of the parade, there was a shooting where a lot of rounds were let off. 23 people were hit. One lady died, and at least half of the people shot were under 16 years of old. The youngest, I believe, was 8. I want to talk about this because all the mainstream liberals, the media, and all the Democrat-loving anti-gun people come out of the woodwork and immediately blame guns. They want gun control. They want this, that, or the other thing. But most of them have never even held a firearm. Never mind, fired one. There's one person in particular. I saw this video on TikTok, and this person is more brainwashed than anyone I've ever seen. He immediately goes on a rant, and he's blaming, of course, MAGA, Republicans, Donald Trump, and Fox News. That's what this person is blaming for two groups of young people who for some reason had a beef with each other, so they decided to start shooting. It had zero to do with gun violence, if you will, because this wasn't a targeted attack that we see a lot by mentally ill people with firearms who specifically go into an area and shoot just to kill innocent people. This horrific incident had zero to do with that. But you can't tell the mainstream that, and this person is absolutely out of his mind. But you have a look and be the judge, and then we'll talk about it a little more.
So a fucking mass shooting literally just happened at the Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. Thank you, fucking Fox News. I wonder which fucking side of people got their whole base whipped up into a frenzy because they were mad about Taylor Swift. I have no idea who these people were that shot this thing up, but I can take a fucking wild guess. This is such fucking bullshit. This is why we need to vote these fucking MAGA people out of our fucking country. This is bullshit. It shows that there's at least one dead, 8 to 10 people shot. And this is not over football. This was over politics. I fucking guarantee it. Fuck MAGA and fuck you idiots who support Donald Trump. Jesus
Again,
fucking...
You be the judge of that. MAGA, Donald Trump, any Trump supporter should be removed from the country. Fox News is being blamed for talking about Taylor Swift like that has anything to do with it. But this person is so uninformed and uneducated about firearms. It's just absolute nonsense. They come out of the woodwork every single time a gun is involved in something because they have been brainwashed by the mainstream. They've been brainwashed by the Biden administration that guns are bad. Citizens should not own guns. And of course, it's MAGA extremists and Donald Trump supporters who were involved in that KC shooting, according to that person. Well, the Kansas City police chief had an update on the case, and she told us that juveniles were involved. 2 of them are currently under arrest, and they recovered several firearms from the area. So again, it had nothing to do with a mentally ill person wanting to commit a mass shooting against innocent people. It was 2 groups. They call them groups. I call them gangs because that's what it is. It's gang violence. So have a look at this report from the local news media there in KC and what the police chief had to say.
Overnight at a candlelight vigil, the Kansas City community grieving and outraged.
You gotta protect us. I'm scared as hell.
After the city's Super Bowl celebration devolved into deadly chaos. Authorities say they recovered several firearms and have 2 juveniles in custody. But so far, no official word on criminal charges.
This appeared to be a dispute between several people that ended in gunfire.
And this morning, we're seeing more images from the unfolding horror. One mother and daughter hiding under a car and desperately calling 911.
There was gunshots.
This video appears to show the massive crowd at the rally when gunshots first rang out. Some fans begin to flee, but many more seem unaware that nearby, a 43-year-old mother of two was gunned down.
It's a big loss.
Lisa Lopez Galvan was a local radio DJ and huge Chiefs fan. Her family says what was supposed to be a celebration with her son turned into a nightmare. Both were shot, but only he survived.
Lisa was a lot more than just a number. She was a very wholesome, very caring, very loving individual.
Officials revealing of the 22 people wounded, at least half are under age 16. The youngest person shot, 8 years old. In a new year that's only 46 days old, this was at least the 48th mass shooting of 4 or more people, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Another American tragedy, fueling familiar outrage.
So again, zero to do with MAGA extremists, zero to do with Republicans, if you will, and zero to do with mentally ill people with the firearm hell-bent on committing mass murder against innocent people. As the police chief put it, it was two groups of young people who had a dispute. Well, again, I call them gangs because that's what they are. They're street gangs. They wannabe tough guys. They can't fight with their hands. They need firearms to do it. And the first guy in that clip, he's scared, and he should be, because the cities are so overwhelmed with gang violence, there's just not enough police to combat it. But you can't tell that to Democrats. You can't tell that to liberals, because automatically they go after law-abiding citizens who own firearms. What happens if there were citizens there who were legally obligated or legally allowed to carry a firearm? Maybe they could have stopped it. Maybe they could have took out one of the shooters. But there were fans on the ground who saw someone running away from the scene and tackled him and held him for the police. So kudos to those fans, because they did a great job. And to me, they're heroes because they weren't concerned about their own safety. They were concerned about the safety of others around them. This is, according to that report, the 48th shooting where 4 or more people were shot in 2024. Most of these shootings, but the mainstream liberal media won't tell you this, are gang violence in big cities like New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia, but they won't tell you about that. They'll only tell you about shootings that involve an AR-15 and a mentally ill person killing innocent people because they're mentally ill. You'll never hear them say that. They're only going to go after people who own firearms. They want stricter gun laws, stricter background checks. Yeah, and that's all well and good. But you can't stop a criminal from getting a gun, because criminals don't go to gun stores and fill out an application to buy firearms. No, they buy them on the street, and they're readily available in every city in the United States of America. If you want an illegal firearm, I'm pretty sure that you can find one in any inner city in this country. But the Democrats don't care, the liberals don't care, and the mainstream media don't care. They don't want to stop the illegal gun trade. They want to stop the legal sale of firearms to law-abiding citizens. Okay? And that's absolutely wrong. They automatically blame the gun. And like I've said a million times, that gun didn't go out on its own and decide to start shooting people. This happened to be two gangs of kids, for whatever reason, didn't like each other. Maybe someone had on the wrong color or something. You know how that goes. So they decided they don't care if there's hundreds of thousands of people. They're going to start shooting each other. And what you did notice there, as the gunfire is going off and all the fans are running away, who's running into it? The police. There were 800 police officers working that day, and of course they were outnumbered by the hundreds of thousands of people. But every on-duty police officer that was in that area ran towards the gunfire, because that's what they do. That's what they're sworn to do. But we still have the Dems who want to defund the police. The police are bad. They do no good. They're the ones running towards the violence. The liberals and the Democrats are running the other way, because they're spineless and they're scared. They don't want a solution. They want to blame innocent people and they want to blame guns. This gun violence epidemic will never go away. They will never be able to stop it. I don't care if each city had 1 million police officers. You cannot stop gang violence because it happens every single day all over the United States, and it just simply can't be stopped. For some reason, these young people are hell-bent on carrying guns and shooting at each other over territory, over girls, over drugs, or whatever. Yes, the shootings have to stop, but gun control and stiffer penalties or background checks or red flag laws are not the answer. People need to be allowed, if they are law-abiding citizens, to conceal carry in every state in this country. And I believe if that happens, you will see a lot less mass shootings because there may be a citizen who is armed to intervene and take out the person hell-bent on killing innocent people. I'm saying that. The right-wing media will say that. And most news channels who support guns and the Second Amendment will say that. But you'll never hear it on CNN or MSNBC. You'll see some reporters crying and, I can't believe this happened. They're weak, they're spineless, and they have no idea how to control a situation. Every law-abiding citizen in the United States of America who wishes to conceal carry should be allowed to. And that, my friends, will, most likely stop the gun violence, because there may be somebody to intervene before the police arrive. So they can cry defund the police, they can cry racism, they can cry police brutality. We all know there's bad cops everywhere. But every single one of those officers on duty that day risked their own lives to run towards the gunfire because that's what they swore an oath to do. But you can't tell certain groups of people that, because no matter what they do to help people and save people, all the police are bad. Enough is enough with these liberal policies trying to prevent citizens from their Second Amendment right. Okay? AR-15s are not the problem. Handguns are not the problem. Shotguns are not the problem. Weak politicians with failing policies are the problem. And it's going to continue until they change their tune and realize we need to arm our citizens, because the citizens could be the ones that save innocent lives. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.